That's 579-2274.
If you're looking for the best-looking truck on the road today, stop the search and come to Mike Butch Ford in Blackshear. Drive, push, tow, or haul your trade, and we'll give you top money for it. We will give you $10,000 off on selected new 2015 Ford F-150s at Mike Butch Ford, or save you thousands at 0% interest for 60 months. 2015 Ford F-150s, save up to $10,000 or finance at 0% for 60 months. Come to the house Good Service built. Buy a new Ford and get free oil and filter changes during your 36,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty. Timmy Rozier, Joey Lee, Gerald Stone, Bart Duncan, Tracy Ross, or Randy Williamson are ready to help you. Remember, $10,000 off or 0% for 60 months on selected 2015 Ford F-150s. This is Sammy Dixon saying thank you. Thank you very much for your business. Stop the search and come to Mike Butch Ford or go to MikeButchFord.com and shop till you drop.
I was tired of my kitchen, but I wasn't sure how to fix it, so I called Kitchen Tune-Up. They offer 3 levels of service: cabinet reconditioning, refacing, and custom cabinet packages. They helped me decide on a strategy that made the most sense for me. And because every franchise is locally owned and operated, I worked with the business owner, not some part-timer. Kitchen Tune-Up did more than remodel my kitchen. Kitchen Tune-Up remodeled my expectations.
Visit your all-new Kitchen Tune-Up franchise located inside your local Sears Hometown store on South 1st Street in Jessup.
8 minutes after 8 o'clock, you're listening to the Big Dog, WIFO-FM in Jessup, 105.5 on your FM dial. Football Friday, 23rd day of October. Butch Hubbard here with you. Hope you have a great day and a fantastic weekend. It is now time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by Jessup Premium Storage out here on the Waycross Highway, by Parker Insurance and Realty on Macon Street in downtown Jessup, by Mike Butch Ford in Blackshear, and B&C Collision Center in Scriven. And Bob, we've got the hospital administrator in this morning, Joe Arati. What's up?
It's Hospital Day, and we're here to talk about how Whitmore Hospital recently named 2015 Small Hospital of the Year, and Joe already named it 2015 CEO of the Year in a big banquet up in Greensboro, Georgia, up near Athens, Georgia. I understand your family, your mother's able to be on hand, so that's always fun.
Very special. It was a really special evening for our organization, Bob. We're over the moon, just thrilled to win Small Hospital of the Year. It's quite an accomplishment to win that award, but we've won it twice in the last 4 years, and that's really unheard of. The Small Hospital of the Year is 90 hospitals throughout the state of Georgia, and to win this prestigious award is just fantastic. And there's a lot that goes into winning that award. It's based on a lot of different things. It's based on your financial performance, your financial ability to maintain a good finances for your organization. It's your clinical outcomes. What kind of quality health care are you providing? It's access to care. What kind of initiatives do we have to create access to care, and then also being able to expand service lines, which we've done an excellent job. So our employees, our physicians, our volunteers, and our board of directors, we all work together to make things happen, and it's truly a great award.
Georgia Alliance sent out a press release, and when you read the press release, it talks about, over the past year, specialists have opened up practices in the area, creating access to the cardiologist, ophthalmologist, ENT surgeon, neurosurgeon without having to drive hours to another city for the care. So talk a little bit about that, because I know that's what you do a lot. As CEO, you go out and, try to lure doctors to this area, specialists to Wayne County, so people don't have to drive all the way to Savannah or far away for that kind of service.
Exactly, and that's the goal, is to be able to keep as much as we can home, so our folks don't have to drive far, but also to try to attract business to our facility from other counties and get them to spend their dollars here. But the most important thing, and we go back to this a lot, is in 2007, we built a new building, and that allowed us to have the infrastructure to be able to put these things in place, to be able to attract these specialists. Quite honestly, a neurosurgeon isn't going to want to come practice, and really can't practice in a 50-year-old building with no infrastructure. We have the infrastructure in place to be able to be a conduit, to be able to provide these services. So to have an ENT surgeon and an ophthalmologist and a neurosurgery program, hopefully here in the next 30 days, we're going to kick that off. And whoever would have thought we would be doing neurosurgery in Jessup, Georgia. but we're going to be doing it here shortly. So a lot of it goes back to the infrastructure, but then also you have to have the staff in place that can work with the physicians to be able to do these procedures. And, Bob, I'm so happy for our organization, our team, that we won this award, because it brings to light what a lot of us already know. And the folks that work with Wayne Memorial Hospital, our board, our doctors, my coworkers, these folks work tirelessly for the healthcare and the benefit of our community. These folks work weekends, they work nights, they work holidays. They get called in at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, middle of the night, to come in for an emergency, to be there to someone. That's dedication. And the fact that they're being recognized for their dedication is makes me feel great. And they're not only dedicated, they're extremely skilled across the board. So it's a wonderful thing for everyone associated with our organization.
Another reason that the hospital is recognized, according to the press release, is the air evac helicopter base moved to Wayne Moore Hospital campus. Again, reduce the amount of time people in trauma are in transit during the critical golden hour, which they talk about. That first hour is just critical. But again, we talked about it many times during the Butch and Bob show. That air evac helicopter saved many lives. Just amazing to have that facility here, and that helicopter is. It's sad it's used as much as it is, but it's amazing. People hear the helicopter take off and they know somebody's being transported to Savannah or Atlanta.
It is. It's one of those things that you're really glad that it's there, but I would prefer to see it parked, if you want to know the truth. We're glad that we have it. It provides an enormous benefit, not only to Wayne, but the surrounding counties, because if someone's in Hinesville and they need a helicopter, this helicopter goes from Jessup, will go to Hinesville and then take that patient on to Savannah or Atlanta, or even to potentially the burn unit in Augusta. And again, time is of the essence when something is that urgent, that emergent. So having that helicopter here has been an enormous benefit to our community.
Another, read the press release that talks about the commitment that the hospital has to the community as well. When the fire burned down and blocked downtown Jessup, the hospital helped raise more than $10,000 to raise or help restore downtown business. I know the hospital donates to the Scriven Fireworks Show each year. Again, they're community minded and try to help the community as much as they possibly can.
We do, Bob. I think that's very, very important. Again, I talk about this a lot, so I'm proud of a broken record, but in 2007, we built this new building because the community supported us. And, it has to be a symbiotic relationship. It has to be that, we just can't take, we have to give too. So we're pleased to be able to give back to anything that we can be a part of. And really that enhances our community, and that enhances quality of life when you're able to give back and create things. I mean, the Scriven Fireworks is a wonderful thing. I remember one year when the economy wasn't doing too well, we in Wayne County and Scriven, Georgia specifically, was probably one of the only places in the area that had a fireworks display. And so I think that's very important that we have those things for quality of life.
I know that you congratulated and said thank you to all the staff for helping with this particular award that y'all received on a Small Hospital of the Year award for the state of Georgia. But apparently there's somebody out there who's probably a mom or dad of a nurse, and they texted in and said, please don't forget the nurses, top-notch nurses at our hospital. They keep the hospital running.
That's it. And like I said, it was all staff, all of our staff that works tirelessly and is dedicated. It's it's a total team effort in order to be successful.
And if you do have a comment or a question, it's easy to text into us at 912-427-3711, 912-427-3711. That's how you get a hold of us in the mornings, and just give us your comments or questions. Okay, Bob?
One thing I think people may not realize that, looking at the details in this press release, it says Wayne Memorial Hospital is the fourth largest employer in Wayne County, 400 employees, 84 beds. That's important. Talk about jobs in Wayne County. The hospital provides jobs here in Wayne County.
We do. We have 400 employees, and our payroll and things of that nature go back. Obviously, I think it's 75 to 80% of our employees actually live in Wayne County. So most of those dollars then are then spent into our community. So we like to consider ourselves part of the economic engine here locally.
And when you look nationwide, statewide, a lot of small hospitals are struggling financially. So, what's the key to Wayne Memorial success? Being able to stay financially solvent.
There's a lot that goes into that. You're right. The trend regionally, locally, nationally is that small hospitals are contracting in their volumes, and a lot are closing, and a lot are on the brink of closing, which is sad to say. We've been able to go on the opposite end of that trend, Bob, because we've had some growth. We have excellent physicians that people want to come see. We have excellent staff that know when they come to Wayne Memorial, they're going to be taken care of in a competent, professional manner. I think that speaks volumes. I think we also have a leadership team that understands how to make sure that we're getting $1 out of $1, to make sure that we are operating this business as a business. Hospitals and someone's healthcare, it's a very benevolent thing, and we're mindful of that. But at the end of the day, we've got to be able to run this as a business so we can continue to do the things that we do. And I think it's just a total culture of folks understanding those things. But the core principle, I think, of why we've been able to buck the trend is because, again, we have excellent physicians and we have excellent staff that work together and really provide a really special product. With our part of getting this award is our clinical outcomes, and our clinical outcomes are outstanding.
If you just joining us, the special guest today on the Butch and Bob Show, CEO of Wayne Memorial Hospital, Joe Roddy. Again, Wayne Memorial Hospital recently named 2015 Small Hospital of the Year, and Joe Roddy named 2015 CEO of the Year. Again, several people at the hospital want me to make sure I recognize that you are the CEO of the Year. They say there's a lot of hospitals in the state of Georgia, so it's kind of a recognition. So your thoughts on winning that award? I know you don't want to talk about it much, but people wanted me to make sure I emphasize that.
I'm honored to win that award, Bob. I really am. It was a surprise. It was an honor, but respectfully, I'm sharing that award with my coworkers, our physicians, our volunteers, and our board of directors. Collectively, we all work together to make these things happen. And again, I'm totally flattered that the Alliance recognized me in that way, but I would be doing a disservice to everyone if I didn't recognize them and sharing that award with everybody.
Now, you said there's 90 small hospitals in the state of Georgia.
And there's 180 total.
180 total. And they wanted to know, somebody just texted in, how many hospitals applied for the award that was received. Did all 90 apply? Do they apply for it? Do they something they just go out and do? Or how do you know?
I don't know how many folks were eligible for this award out of the 90.
So you have to have a certain eligibility to be able to be.
I mean, any hospital, can win this award. It's not exclusive. It's not an exclusive. It's an inclusive award. But there's a lot of things that you have to have done in the last year to be even considered for this. So if someone's financial performance, or they haven't expanded any new services, or have contracted some services, they probably wouldn't be considered for that, because there are criteria that are expressed beforehand that makes you be considered for this.
Okay, so they take a look at it and they go and pick out the top ones. Okay, there's 90.
All right, several years ago, y'all went in partnership with St. Joseph Campbell. I followed that story. I know you lobbied for that, and we talked about the advantages of that. But how the rumor mill in Wayne County is. The rumor is, they're going to take over Wayne Memorial Hospital. They're going to be the new. Talk about that a little bit. Talk about who owns the hospital, how it's operating.
The hospital. Just like Bob, when we built a new hospital, within 2 years, we wouldn't be able to sustain it and satisfy the debt and everything. And here we are, 8 years later, winning awards. But all it is a collaborative to work together on things to really improve patient care and to take advantage of economies of scale economically.
Right, save money.
Buy in bulk. That's part of the reason why our financial performance is better than most right now, because we've done these different things. Now, anyone that tells you the Affordable Care Act was written to basically contract the number of hospitals in this country. And we at Wayne Memorial, we are a standalone community hospital, and we love our independence. However, we're not naive enough to think that we weren't going to need a partner, someone to do things, to be able to navigate through the unknowns and be able to navigate through the financial hardships that come along with every business from time to time. And so being able to work with the folks in Savannah, in purchasing, in consolidation of different services, non-clinical, and then being able to work on some clinical initiatives, like neurosurgery. That's part of how all of this come to pass. So it's been a wonderful thing for us. It's done nothing but help us. We've seen just a difference in our bottom line. For example, in purchasing supplies, St. Joseph's Candler together is about a $1 billion organization. Okay, we're about 140 million. Well, I guarantee you, they buy gauze pads from XYZ company a lot cheaper than we do. So now, if we can go and pool our volumes together, we're getting that same item that we were ordering last week a lot cheaper. And then some may ask, well, what's in it for them? Well, if you're a $1 billion organization, and let's say 15% of your expenditures, 150 million, is on supplies. If by adding our volumes, you get just a additional 1% decrease on what you were already buying, do the math. That's $1.5 million in cash. So there's benefits to everyone involved, and as you look and see how things have evolved since we've done that, you see where people are partnering up all over the country and all over the state. For example, you have two of the biggest healthcare facilities in Atlanta looking to do a collaborative just like we did. Northside Hospital and Gwinnett Medical Center, West Georgia in LaGrange, and Wellstar in the Marietta area are combining. All the Columbus hospitals work together and do this. So what we've done is nothing different than a lot of folks have done. We did it first, and it's really paid dividends for us.
Just joined as CEO of Wellmore Hospital, Joe Roddy. What's the biggest headache of being a CEO of a hospital? What's the biggest problem area you have? I mean, everything can't be rosy at the hospital.
No, it's not. There's it never closes. We're always open. I don't really want to say this biggest headache. There's just always a lot going on, and it just seems like it never stops. And a hospital is so multifaceted. There's so many different things going on that a lot can get thrown at one time, but they're totally unrelated. So, and a lot of times in the business, there may be three separate issues, but there may be something in the core that can fix all three. It's so many different things going on. I think dealing with that, I think part of it is, I think that's the biggest thing. The biggest headache is we're always on go.
24/7.
24/7.
Talk a little bit about the emergency room. I hear a lot of people talk about the emergency room. I know that's a hectic area. But
Sure. Well,
how's the emergency room work? If you go into emergency today,
I'm going to be straight with you. We do about 25 to 26,000 emergency room visits. And if you come to the emergency room for something that's not an emergency, you're going to wait. That's just how it is. If you come in there and you have a toothache that's been there for 2 weeks, and someone comes in and they've cut their arm, guess what? They need stitches. You're going to wait. And that's the biggest complaint we get. The emergency room is an emergency room.
I think people be amazed how many people think they got an emergency, but they don't have an emergency. Right. Is that the biggest headache they got? Like I said, they walk in there and think,
Well, we live in a now society. Me now society want to be seen right away, and I get that. But
being a reality show, though, I think,
But you remember, if it's an emergency room, and what you may think is emergency and what someone else thinks is emergency is totally different. 101 degree fever for someone my age really is an emergency, but that level of a fever in a small child is an emergency. So a lot of that has to do with prioritizing, and a lot of times people don't realize what's in the back, what's come in the back. A wreck, gosh forbid, somebody who's having maybe a heart attack, and sometimes more resources are needed on somebody. So that will slow things up. If someone comes in and they are critical, it may take the doctor's full attention and 3 or 4 nurses to take care of that person. So, and a lot of things that back up the emergency room, quite honestly, is people coming in and looking for pain medication. And that's the biggest complaint that we get out of the emergency room is folks complain, and then we find out that they come in there looking for pain medication. And I can tell you, we're not giving out pain medication coming out of that emergency room. And I think that's another issue that we have. But the emergency rooms are tough. Those folks, again, that's a tough job being in the emergency room. You see all kinds of different things, and then all of a sudden, bang, out of nowhere, something really bad comes in, and you have to be ready on the spot. That's you got to have nerves of steel to work back there, and a lot of patience to work in the emergency room. And we see 25,000 people in the emergency room. We see about another 35,000 people that get outpatient testing. We do about 3,500 surgeries, and we admit about another 3,000 people that spend the night. We do about 550 deliveries. To sit here and look at you and tell you that we do it exactly right all the time would not be being straightforward with you. We're not perfect. We know that, but our folks do one heck of a good job.
Congratulations again on the awards. Again, Joe Blizzard's not here, but I'd be amiss. She sends all this information. You got a couple of events coming up. One's the Business After Hours next Thursday from 5 to 7. You want to tell people about it. It's going to be a tailgate tent outside the cafeteria, kind of a Georgia, Florida weekend preparation. Tell us about the Business After Hours Thursday.
We're really excited to be able to have that Business After Hours on the 29th from 5 to 7 right outside of our hospital cafeteria. It's going to be a Georgia, Florida theme. We're excited to work in conjunction with the Wayne County Chamber of Commerce. We're going to have our tent set up. We'll have some light hors d'oeuvres and some refreshments, and we encourage everyone to come and join us for a nice evening of fellowship. It should be a lot of fun.
Steak day went extremely well yesterday. That was a packed house yesterday.
Lots of steak.
Lots of steak. We actually sold 564 10-ounce steaks yesterday. So wow. You can imagine the line was out the door yesterday. Ike cut all 564 of them by hand the day before. Wow. They cooked them. They did a fantastic job.
Make sure Ike's not wearing gator gear next Thursday.
You can forget it. You can forget that. Ike was talking a lot more stuff until the quarterback got kicked out for steroids.
Smack yesterday.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, I said, so.
Yeah, this is the next week is the week talk smack, right?
He's last 3 years they've been giving him a pretty hard time. I think actually someone did over the intercom when I think Georgia won 30-22. They told Ike Miller, please call 3022. There's no such extension as 3022. But I got it. The score was 30-22. So that's the other thing that makes it a joy to work out there. We know how to laugh. We know how to laugh, and when needed.
Again, you've been with Color Man. We got a long trip to Thompson, Georgia. You got the eating arrangements lined up.
Bob always starts from the start.
Bob, I'm really been able to do a good job with this one because we had a bye week and I've never been there, so I had 2 weeks to prepare. So I'm hoping you're going to be happy, because if not, that's a long ride home for you to give me a hard time about where we went to eat and if we got lost.
Okay.
So.
We're not going to get lost. We got the directions.
And I think I found us a pretty good place to go.
So Joe hooked us up with directions, so we're good to go there.
Good.
Well,
all right. Joe Roddy here this morning, administrator for the hospital here in town. Congratulations to them to be chosen as the Small Hospital of the Year here in the state of Georgia, and him as executive for the year. Is it called the CEO? What was the official award?
Georgia Hospital CEO of the Year.
And then Small Hospital of the Year with 90 hospitals here in the state of Georgia. So just 2 out of the last 4 years. That's great. Great job as you and your staff, everybody out there, from the volunteers out there to the doctors, to the nurses, to the maintenance staff, to everyone out there. Everyone does a fantastic job at Wayne Memorial Hospital, and it's just a great asset to our community.
Thank you.
All right. 105.5 FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO, the world famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by